Hey guys, it's Ashley. Today we're going to be talking about A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab. This is the first book in the Shades of Magic trilogy, and holy crap, it's amazing. Honestly, this was such a good book. I could not put it down. I finished it really quickly. It was just like amazing from start to finish, honestly, and it was so different than the things that I've read before, and I'm just so excited to talk about it with you guys. I decided to pick this up recently because the third book in the series, A Conjuring of Light, just came out in February, and it was getting really hyped up, and the series was everywhere I looked. I already had the first two books because a long time ago I saw the covers and thought, wow, they're gorgeous, and so I bought them anyways. But I'm really glad that I have the second one already because I can start it whenever I feel like it, which honestly is right at this very moment, but I have other things I have to read before, so I'm gonna hold off for a little bit now, but I'm very excited to get into it. So let's just go ahead and get into some of my non-spoilery thoughts about it. If you don't already know, this series follows two characters, Kel and Lila, at least in this book. I don't know about the other books, but in this book, Kel is a smuggler who smuggles artifacts between Londons, and Lila is a cutthroat thief who pickpockets things. One day, Lila pickpockets a precious artifact from Kel that he cannot stand to lose, so Kel goes after her, finds her, all this stuff happens, they're thrust into this magical, journey. Now, I did say he smuggles things from different Londons. In this book, there are 4 different Londons. They're kind of like alternate dimensions for each other. Grey London is essentially our world where magic used to exist, but we've kind of forgotten about it. But there are people who still believe that there is magic and want magic. There's Red London, which is the London in which Kel was born and it's his home. Red London is full of magic. There's White London, which is being starved of magic because it is right next to Black London, and nobody talks about Black London anymore. So Kel is also what we call an Antari in this world. He has really powerful magic that allows him to travel between Londons. Okay, a couple things I want to mention about this book real fast. One, the magic system is absolutely insane, in my opinion at least. It's very different from anything that I have ever read before. I really enjoyed it. Magic flows down the bloodline, but it's not passed down. He's an Antari, but that doesn't necessarily mean that his dad or his mom or anybody in his family before him was an Antari. Some people in this book have an affinity for magic, some don't, and there's no way to tell if you do or not, other than, you can do like these tests and figure out what you have an affinity for. I think that the differences between the Londons is so stark and so contrasting in one another. Really interesting to see how they deal with each of those different things in different situations, even though they're essentially in the same place. They're in London, it's just a different version of London, so that's really cool. I think that this is a really good book that if you're not into the political sphere of books, how some high fantasies have, politics going on where one kingdom kind of has to deal with another kingdom. Sometimes politics in books can make me fall asleep, honestly, because politics is just not interesting to me. But this book, I was really interested in the politics. It was really interesting seeing how Kel interacted with the Dane twins of White London. So it was really cool. It's really weird how they deal with their correspondence, and I think that if you're not really interested in politics or political spheres in books, that this is a really good one to pick up. Kel is a really awesome character. I really love him. He's got some really, deep secrets about himself. The Mareshes kind of rule over Red London, and they took him in at a young age, so he does have a brother, Rai, who is also a really great character, but he's not like a true Maresh. He deals with the struggles of, not really feeling like he belongs in the family, feeling like the family kind of owns him and uses him for their own purposes, as a correspondence between Londons, for example. So he deals with that sort of inner turmoil as well as the shit that happens in this book. It's not a good mix, let me tell you. And I really loved Lila. Lila is honestly one of my favorite characters at this point. I don't want to say that she's badass because she knows when a situation is too much for her and she runs the other way. She doesn't think that she can fight them off because she's Lila Bard, She knows when it's too much for her. So she's not badass in that way, but she's really, skilled and really cunning, and I just really love that about her. I don't really know what else there is to say in this non-spoilery section. I really just want to start getting into the story itself. So if you haven't already read this book yet, please pick it up. It's so good. You will not regret it, I promise you. So those of you who haven't read this book yet, you can go ahead and leave now and come back when you've picked it up and read it, because trust me, you're gonna want to read this book. So bye non-spoilery people. I'll see you later. So I wanted to talk about Kel a little bit more just to start off real fast, because I know I said that he's dealing with this inner turmoil of feeling like he's a possession of the Mareshes. Oh my god, that almost rhymed. I also really like the way that he's treated as royalty, and everyone regards him in awe, and they put him up on this pedestal because he's one of the last Antari left, and he's also royalty. But at the same time, he's haunted because he doesn't know what happened when he was a child. He doesn't know how he ended up here. He wants to know what happened to his parents. He wants to know how he ended up with that tattoo and his inner arm. And he doesn't know. Even though everybody around him is regarding him as if nothing's wrong, everything is wrong inside. In the beginning, I felt that Kel and Rai's relationship was really weird. Obviously, Rai was looking out for him when he was like, you gotta stop smuggling, buddy. Like, you're gonna get caught eventually. You gotta stop. And he was getting kind of mad at Kel because Kel kept doing it anyways. But at the same time, when Kel told him how he felt, that like, he felt like he was just a possession to be used as a correspondence, you know, between Londons, Rai was like, well, have we not been providing for you? Obviously you have. I'm just telling you how I feel, and I just want you to understand. And Rai was like, well, I don't understand. Have we not been giving you what you want? Would you like something else? Understand what he's going through and help him through it. Don't, like, try to give him more material things to, like, you know, satiate him. That's just the kind of vibe that I was getting off of it. But, you know, toward the end of the story, when Kel, you know, used the stone for Black London to create the bond between him and Rai so that Rai would not die unless he died, I thought that that was just a test of family, a test of brotherhood. I really loved that. It really broke my heart too, because when we got that story, when Rai was captured by those people, and then Kel went to save him, and later Kel went back and just killed every single one of them so that Rai could never be taken again. That was really heartbreaking on Kel's part, because Kel had to, you know, kill all of those people because he loved his brother that much. His relationship with Rai in the beginning was really weird, but toward the end, like, it really shows. So speaking of Lila again, like I said, she's not so much badass to me as she is like fending for herself. She's fending for her life. She's doing what she can to, you know, get off the streets, to live her dreams. She's also really ambitious, and I think that she is honestly like a really good Slytherin. She's really ambitious. She wants to be a pirate. She wants to have a ship. She wants to have really nice boots and, you know, like a really awesome sword, and she wants to just sail the high seas and like go on adventures and everything. And she wants all of this stuff, and she's willing to do whatever it is that she needs to do to get there, including stealing and pickpocketing. Kel goes to White London, and White London is really f***ed up. The Dane twins are really f***ed up, okay? Like, they're really messed up. Their world is dying because they don't have magic, so they drink Holland's blood to give them magic, and it's just really freaking creepy, and as soon as we were there, I wanted to leave immediately. It's also in this White London where Kel is drunk, and then this woman gives him this package, and it ends up being like the Black Stone from London, the Black London, right? And he takes it back with him to Red London, where these people are waiting for him, and they try to attack him. The rock actually like creates magic, and it does what the person wants. Of course, he goes back to Grey London, where Lila steals the rock. Like, great timing. What amazing timing. All of that just happens, and Kel's like, oh my god, I gotta get this rock away from these people who want to steal it, and then Lila goes and steals it. Like, way to go, Lila. Way to go. So then Kel goes after her, and then Holland comes after her, and then Kel comes after her again, and then almost dies for her, and then Lila runs away, and then Lila comes back for them. Like, it's just a mess, and it's a whirlwind, but eventually Kel and Lila escape with the stone. Everything is good, everything's okay. But then of course Baron, who's the owner of the Stone's Throw in Grey London, he ends up dying. Holland kills him. Baron deserved 150% more than Holland killing him. Let me tell you right now, Baron deserved a lot more than dying. When Lila first uses the Black Stone to cross into Red London, my heart was beating so fast. I didn't know if it was gonna work. I mean, obviously it was gonna work because the story had to move on from there. I was only like 100 pages in. Like, what would happen in the rest of the story if she didn't go through? But I just, I thought that was so cool. Then of course she like kisses Kel, which I think was really weird, but at the same time, I love how they didn't focus on it. Like a lot of YA books, I know this isn't a YA book, but a lot of YA books in fantasy, they focus so heavily on kissing. If the two main characters, obviously have this, romantic interest in each other, and they're in the middle of this really, really horrible situation, and all of a sudden they kiss, it's like everything in the situation just halts and just stops, so that the two main characters can have their moment, and then they get back to fighting. But in this book, at least, I know this is an adult fantasy, so it's a bit different. I love how it wasn't focused on the romance, it wasn't focused on the kiss, and I'm not saying that Lila and Kel are ever going to get together, because I don't know what's gonna happen. I really love how it wasn't focused on that. We were focused on the task at hand, not on the kiss, and we just got back to it once it was done, and I really liked that. And then of course, we got a lot of the quotes that I've been seeing in a lot of different, art and different fan art. I'd rather die on an adventure than live standing still. I'm not going to die until I've seen it. Seen what? Everything. Oh my goodness. Lila is just, like, I love her so much. I love her ambition, and I love her dreams, and I just love her as a person. When Kel uses the black stone to kind of freeze the guy who was after him, it ended up taking control of his body, I guess. When the guy would either kiss somebody or would cut somebody, the magic would seep into that other person and would take control of them. So it was kind of like this disease that was spreading across Red London. And so you got all of these people who had these like completely black eyes, and it was really, really creepy. It was so creepy. Oh my god, every time we got one of those scenes where, it was in the magic's point of view and the magic was like, this isn't the right body, this body's gonna burn up in a second, I gotta find somebody else. Like, it was just really, really weird, and I got the chills every time. Let's just not go there anymore, okay? And then of course, Kel is taken prisoner and put in Rye's room, and Lila decides that she's going to go to the masquerade to go save him. And so she goes and puts on these clothes in this tent. When she looks at herself in the mirror, I loved that scene so much, because she looks at herself and she's wearing these really, really nice clothes and brand new boots, and she's got like a brand new hat, and she's got a cool looking mask, and like, girl, this is the dream, and you look damn fine. Astrid, one of the twins who controls White London, decided that she was going to, I guess, like take over the minds of the king and the queen and Rye and everybody like that, and so she's basically like mind controlling everybody in the castle and everybody in, Red London. Astrid threatens to like, stab Rye. Oh my god, that moment when Astrid actually stabs Rye, I like almost had a heart attack. I was panicking so badly, because Rye had not been a part of the story like barely at all, throughout the whole thing, and I know that he's gonna become more of a bigger character, and I cannot wait because I love Rye. I didn't even know him that well, and I just didn't want him to die. If not for his sake, then for Kel's sake, because Kel did so much for this boy and killed so many people for this boy, and if Rye was just about to die now, like, what would have been the point? I really, really, really was like freaking out at that point. And then of course, Lila busts in like a badass. I know I wasn't gonna call her a badass, but in this moment, she was pretty badass. Kel takes Rye back to, that other place that he grew up. That's when he binds his life to Rye's. And then we go to White London again so that Kel and Lila can kill the Dane twins, and of course they start fighting, and then they kill the twins. The Black Rock has now bound itself to Kel, and the magic is kind of taking over Kel. Oh my goodness, it's just, like, I thought the magic was creepy before, and the magic is really freaking creepy now, like really, really creepy. Someone I didn't touch on yet though, was Holland. Holland was such a weird character. Oh my goodness. Like, when he was first introduced, I got the feeling that he was kind of gonna be like Rye's love interest, but then I guess he wasn't. And then we got the whole backstory with Holland about how he was only the Danes' servant because he had fought to get the throne from the Danes, but then the Danes used their horrible, like, evil magic on him and bound him to be a servant for them, and so he couldn't do anything. It was all against his will. I had a mixture of hatred and pity for Holland that, like, didn't mix well, so overall I didn't like him, but at the same time I felt bad for him, and it was just so complicated. When Kel killed Holland and he said that he saw kind of like relief spread over Holland's face, that was the moment where I was like, aw, Holland, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. When Master Tyrannus, I don't know. When Master Tiernan tells Lila that she has, like, magic that hasn't been activated or hasn't been, you know, brought out yet, hell yeah. Like, Lila, you need to learn how to use your magic so you can come back and fight everybody and get your ship and sail away. Like, I know she sails away at the end of this book, and it's amazing because she gets her own ship and she gets to sail away and go off on an adventure that I really hope that she's gonna come back in the next book, because, I mean, where's she gonna go if there's 2 more books after this? I was so happy when she sailed off at that point. Ugh, it was so great. And even Rye at the very, very end, when Kel and Lila are in his room and Rye's like, I like her. I want to see more of her. Everybody likes Lila. I love Lila. Rye loves Lila. Kel loves Lila. Lila is just a great person overall. Even though she's really not, she is. And I love her for it. That, I think, is a good ending note for this book talk. So I'm just going to stop there, stop rambling. This book talk is long enough as it is already. Thanks so much for sticking with me through this long talk. If you guys have read this book, please let me know who is your favorite character. Mine is obviously Lila, and what your favorite part of this book was. I'm really, really, really excited to get into the next couple of books. I want to know what's gonna happen. I know that A Conjuring of Light is supposed to make you sob, so I'm not ready for that yet, but I'm ready for at least the second one. So that is going to be it for this video, everybody. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you later.